G'day guys, theaptpupil here, doing a commentary for my own IS-2, which is the Chinese modification of the Russian Tier 7 heavy tank. This is the first Chinese heavy tank, also entering in at Tier 7. Standout features of it would basically be a little more ammo, I believe 1 or 2 extra shots per than what the IS has. It's been a while since I've played the IS. And you've got an extra 50 HP with, I believe, a slightly tougher gun mantlet. I say slightly and emphasize slightly because I don't get shot in the gun a lot, but when I do, it is annoying.
These guys don't stand a chance.
So that being said, I do make a nice early mistake into this game, assuming that I've just jumped without paying attention to the mini-map. A common mistake for me, and probably for quite a few others, is that if you play a lot of, say, assault battles on Westfield, like I have, then you just jump into assuming that you're actually playing assault without looking, and you just go into that drive to that certain path mode. Common mistake from what I've seen, and at least I do pick up on it before it's far too late.
Stop eyeballing
But
me.
once again, I do apologise. So, my opinions on the IS-2 is that it is it's a pretty nice tank actually. It's tough like the IS, it's got a lot of alpha like the IS, it's not accurate, it has a lot of troubles penetrating, as you'll see with the fact that I've put in 11 heat rounds. I save those rounds pretty much for when I'm versing Tier 9 tanks. Or the Super Pershing. The Super Pershing is also an absolute pain to penetrate, so I tend to switch over to heat for the Super Pershing. Very rare exceptions to the rule, I still like to use AP because it's cheaper, but I can afford to run 11 heat shells without actually losing money thanks to my premium account, which is nice to know, especially when you do have, especially when I'm in the matches using the heat, my damage is significantly higher. It's usually around 2,600 to 3,000 damage. This battle was about 2,400, as you'll see at the end of the counter. I will put in the screenshots of the battle efficiency like I've done in my other commentaries, just to show you guys how I actually perform, so you can only see so much from XVM. So, what I don't like about this tank is the gun. It's a love-hate relationship. I love the damage, but I hate the accuracy and the lack of penetration. It really, really ruins the experience in one of these tanks, and given that, hey, I'm not meant to actually be shooting from mid to long range, it's still nice if you have that accuracy, so that way you can shoot and move while you're reloading. This tank does have a lot of long reload speed because I am using an 86% crew with no rammer or no vents. It's unusual, it's the first thing I usually splash out on, but for this tank I've just decided to enjoy it as it is stock, and it's actually, it looks after me okay. It's okay. I can definitely see where it would improve with having vents, BIA and a rammer. Possibly even a vertical stabilizer. Oh wait, no, stabilizers at tier 8s. So, it's still a nice tank. Always be paying attention to the minimap when you try and make a move across the field like this. Will save you. For example, I only moved because I saw that the IS-3 was not actually aiming his gun at me. If he was, then I would have pulled back and waited till he wasn't. Now, I don't know how the hell I've really buggered this shot up. That last shot was the bounce off the Tiger front. However, that's the D25T for you. Another mistake of mine there was I left my front straight on. I couldn't see the KVIS's gun, so I just assumed that. I don't know what I assumed. I knew he was pointing his gun at me, but I just couldn't see it specifically, so I wasn't angling around it. Big mistake. However, I'm still alive, so as long as I pay attention. You can only really afford to make a mistake once in a Russian tank. If it's a mistake that costs you HP, that's just because you don't have the HP to survive to get you through another shot. Pretty much the same for Chinese. They're a little bit more of an improvement, but still they're not as much HP as the Americans, and certainly not as much HP as the Germans and British, which Germans and Brits are my two favourite nations. Chinese would probably be the next, because they are a little bit tougher, a little bit more versatile than what the Russians are, but the difference would be marginal. If I was to go against an IS player who was equally skilled in his IS against my IS-2, there's a fair chance that unless I switch to heat rounds, I'd lose. And that's just... it's these tanks are kind of like the old phrase, a jack of all trades, master of none. It just does okay at most of the jobs. What it doesn't do okay at is these mid-range shots. I don't know why I continue to make these mid-range shots. As you could see, I was actually aiming for the Jackson, but I missed and hit the other tank. And then I get a little bit closer, 190 meters, and I still miss the Jackson entirely. You know, this is D25T accuracy for you. I always try and pay attention at the shots taken. This is where the new markers and XVM are really handy, seeing obviously when people shoot and when damage is done, so that way you can move in and time it between your reloads. It's always handy just to have that extra bit of timing there. And we're pretty much near the end of the battle. I can see the T-69's checking me out. Let him check me out, and I'll see if I can, I thought I might be able to get a shot off at the IS, and I don't know where that shell came from, who shot that. That was certainly not an artillery, considering our artillery is down on G1, and their artillery was dead. So that's a totally anomalous shot that, even now when I review it, still has me puzzled. And that was just a general terrible shot. Terrible accuracy, but it's an okay game. I had fun. It was tier 8 tanks versus tier 7, had a bit of fun, and it's a victory through capture, which is nice. I shall catch you guys later.